Honda Accord Coupe. I think we have an oxymoron there. I mean, you're saying you've got the sporty version of one of America's most white-bread, everyday cars. Let's find out if there's really something pulling two directions here as we drive the 2013 Honda Accord Coupe EXL V6 with navigation, in other words, top of the line, and check the tech. Now, I wouldn't blame you for saying, it's just a sedan Accord with two doors removed and some sheet metal stuck where they used to be. But not true. This car is actually a little over 2 inches shorter from nose to butt and has 2 fewer inches between the wheels, the wheelbase. That's a pretty substantial difference from the sedan. So this is a car that's actually a different platform in many ways, and most importantly, it looks hot. There's no denying that. Now, the first thing I'm struck by in the Accord Coupe is 2 things right off the bat that you often ask about. First of all, how's the headroom? I'm about 6'2", and I can go so low in this seat that I feel too far from the ceiling. So good news for you tall folks. Now, looking at the trim, you probably also noticed that you have double vision. You're not hungover. This is the new Honda Acura thing. Dual screens that sometimes complement each other. Sometimes they go different directions. Like right now, I've got nav on the top, media on the bottom. That's great. But at other times, it gets real wonky. Like when you want to go enter a destination, you get this weirdness. I've got 2 entry screens, and that makes no sense to me. Check out our review on the Acura RLX, which is their new flagship, and of course uses a very similar system to get a real deep dive on where this works and doesn't. Let's get to some media sources now. When you go to the audio screen over here, and by the way, I hate that stupid little interstitial screen that shows everything, just weird to me. Here's a nice display of the AHA music service. This is being done through something called the Honda Link app. Once you install Honda Link, AHA is wired into there, and you get a really nice streamed from the internet, handed off to the head unit experience from your smartphone. Now, because we have navigation, that, by the way, is an up-trim option. It's a different level of the car. That also brings you 16 gigabytes of hard drive storage. You see that when I go through the sources here. And, of course, you also see Pandora's in there. USB and aux are down here, supporting iPod, as Honda has done rather nicely. And the music on the hard drive or on your iPod is available by voice command for artist or title. So you can actually talk to the music collections on those 2 devices. Over here on the left, you can see these guys here. There's an economy button. That kind of dampens the behavior of the vehicle. Obviously, we've got a manual transmission we'll talk about in a minute, so it does not affect shift profiles. And down here is the lane departure warning button. We have lane departure warning on this car, but it's passive. All it does is tell you you're drifting. It doesn't correct it. Same thing goes for forward collision warning. FCW will flash this guy right up there, a series of yellow LEDs that'll blink right up inside the windshield if you're about to rear end somebody. Last thing I want to show you is this little button here on the turn signal stalk. If you push that, or if while you're driving you execute a right turn signal, you get this interesting view in the screen, which is looking out of a camera on my outboard right-hand side mirror. This is pretty unusual. Now, up here in the engine room, you've got the 3.5-liter V6. Now, that's the premium engine on the Accord. Whether it's coupe or sedan, most of them are going to ship with a 4. But this is a nice motor. It says Earth Dreams here on the front. That's nice. I'm happy for them. What we really got here is a pretty conventional but damn nice V6. It does not have direct injection, though Honda's 4s do now. The numbers are good, though. 278 horsepower, 256 foot-pounds of torque. Gets this roughly 3,400-pound Accord up to 60 in a sprightly 5.6 seconds. Front-wheel drive only. There's no all-wheel drive version on this guy. Now, the MPG's no thing of beauty with the manual 1828. I mean, not bad, but nothing to write home about. Big improvement with the automatic. You get to 2132, so you shave quite a few MPG off if you go for the 6-speed. But the 6-speed is really cool. By the way, if you get the 6-speed, you also give up active cylinder management. In the automatic, this car can run on as few as 3 cylinders when you're loafing for that better fuel economy. But with the manual, it can't communicate with the transmission enough to know when it should do that. As a result, it doesn't do that. You're always running on all 6. That's part of why this guy's more thirsty. The first thing you notice in this Accord Coupe is that the powertrain is really direct. This is not what you expect from an Accord. You expect it to be kind of a driving appliance. This is actually more or less a road machine. First of all, that V6 has good numbers on paper, but more importantly, great responsiveness on the road. It's a right now engine. It doesn't stop and think when you tell it to start to spin. Now, front-wheel drive only, as I mentioned, the car handles very well. It's not a street fighter. It's more refined than that. But it's absolutely no problem to toss on a little corkscrew road like this. And it feels great. It's very good ride quality all the time, which you don't always get from a car that has a really gutsy chassis and suspension. Of course, being a Honda, it can't help itself but have a giant speedo and a little tack. That kind of lets the air out of the performance balloon in terms of the ergonomics, but you can live with it. Great gearbox, nice clutch. This is a real drivable car that feels very much like it was built around this transmission, not sort of had that added on as another option. This is going to turn out to be one of the sleeper hits of the year in my book. I'm pretty sure of that, even though we're only mid-2013 right now, because it's a nice balance of being a refined car that can also give you a grin on the open road. It's very much got a little bit town and country built into it. I didn't expect that coming into it. I didn't expect a sharp powertrain, a great manual gearbox, refined ride, and at the same time sporting feedback coming back to me, all wrapped up in what I think is a pretty hot looking car. So Honda, good work. Okay, an Accord V6 Coupe EXL, not with nav yet, is $31,100 delivered. The navigation package is $2,000 more. It gets you the nav, voice command for it, FM-based traffic, so no need for satellite radio if you don't want it. And it also throws in that 16-gigabyte hard drive space that you'll probably never use. On top of that, you can get backup sensors for $520 to augment that otherwise very good camera, and that's about it when it comes to going CNET style. So all in, you're at about $33,600. Now, bottom line, the Accord is a very grown-up, kind of sporty coupe. One of the most direct competitors would be the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, but that's a whole different age demographic, to be honest. This guy doesn't sell at all compared to their sedan. I mean, it does okay, but why they make it? Not entirely sure. It's not different enough to be a halo car, doesn't sell enough in volume to be a major business success, but I'm still glad they do it.